Okay, so today I'm going to show you some different ways to do two-digit by two-digit multiplication, and you can apply this to any kind of multiplication. I'm just going to stick to two-digit by two-digit. When I teach multiplication, or review it actually in middle years, I make sure I present the kids with as many possible strategies to solve equations, and then I give them an opportunity to practice each strategy, and then at the end, I let them choose the one that works best for them. So these are the strategies that I go over with them. The first one is the traditional, and this is the one I know I learned in school. So 32 times, I don't know what we want to do, 41. And I'm just going to do this question with you. And the only thing that I know I mentioned that wasn't mentioned to me when I was in school is I always make sure I come back to place value. So we start with the bottom number and we work with the ones place value. And then we progressively go up. So the ones times the ones is, so 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3, I move to the tens column, is 3. When I move to my digit in the tens column, 10 has 1 0, so I add 1 0 in my answer line. And then 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12. And then these two lines are added together, and I get my answer. Okay, you guys know that method. The next method that I show them is the box method. This one's a little bit better than, I'm telling you my personal preference here, but the traditional one is my least favorite. So the box method lets us break the number up. So we start talking about expanded form, and 32 is actually a 3 in the tens place value, and a 2 in the ones, and 41 is a 4 in the tens and a 1 in the ones. Okay, so now I'm going to draw a box with 4 little boxes inside, and each box is divided with a diagonal line to represent the ones and the tens place value. So I put my numbers in, 32 and 41, and then I start my multiplication. So I usually physically get kids to match numbers up. So 4 times 3 is going to go in this box. The answer is 12, 1 10, and 2 ones. 4 times 2 is 8, that's 0 tens and 8 ones. 3 times 1 is 3, 0 tens, 3 ones. 2 times 1 is 2, 0 tens and 2 ones. So and then I just add, starting with my last diagonal. So I have 2, and then I add this diagonal. 8 plus 0 is 0, plus 3 is 11. Carry the 1, so I'm finished with these two. I have 2 plus 0, or 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 2 is 2, is 3, plus 0 is also 3. And then I have 1 in my last. So I get the same answer. I like this method a little bit more just because we're constantly referring back to place value, and even when I do my basic multiplication, I'm breaking my answers up into the ones and the tens place value. The downside to this one is sometimes kids struggle with drawing the box and then the adding up in the diagonals, but it's a good method. So the next one that I want to show you, I call it the just makes sense method of multiplication, but you can refer to it as the area method. So if we have that original question again, which was 32 times 41, I break it up into expanded form in a way that shows the value of each digit. So 32 is 30 plus 2. So this method is, I think, one step even above the box method, because I'm showing that the value of the 3's digit is 30, not 3. And 41 is going to be 40 plus 1. And so then I just 32, you can put the plus sign there if you want, and 41, again you can put the plus sign there if you want, I don't usually. And I just draw a sideways L, and again I match up. So the way I do this with kids, because I do a lot of mental math, but I talk to kids about the strategy of you multiply the 4 times the 3 is 12, and then count how many zeros you have. So 4 times 3 is 12, and I have 1, 2 zeros. 4 times 2 is 8, and I have 1 0. 3 times 1 is 3 with 1 0. And 2 times 1 is 2, and I have no zeros. So with a small question like this, they can use the calculator or whatever, and they just add up the numbers inside this sideways L. Usually I do encourage kids to kind of have some structure to that adding. So I would add this way. So this is 1280, and then I have 32, and then I add that way, and I get the same number. So this is my personal favorite, and in fact this is one area of math that you know, I learned the traditional way, but I've converted. So if I have to do some quick multiplication in Home Depot or something, I usually do this one in my head. So, and this really does support place value, and it makes sense number-wise, and it encourages kids to do some mental math. So enjoy.